Good evening, Roehampton Club. We're going to do another 45-minute Pilates class. You will need a ball and a block. If you haven't got a ball, alternatively, you can use a cushion from your sofa, pillow, anything that you can squeeze that is soft. Squeeze between your thighs will do for this session. Good. Let's start. Make sure that you're standing on a solid ground. And then start off by just standing really nice and tall. Find your core connection, find how your pelvic floor lifts up, how your belly pulls in, and how you're gently tucking your tail between your legs. You're now going to just pull the shoulders as far up to your ears and then gently pull them down your back. Good. Inhale to pull them up and just exhale to move them down. Good. Make sure your hands are tracking with the side of your body. Inhale up and breathe out to go down. And really exaggerate this, make it as big as you can. And we're now going to pull up, and then we're going to pull backwards and downwards in a really, really big circle. So straight up, and then back and down. Good. We're now going to pull up, and as we pull backwards, we're nodding our chin forwards to really lengthen through the neck, and then look straight again as you pull the shoulders up. And then nod the head forward as you pull your shoulders back and down. Do that twice more. Inhale. And exhale, nod the chin forward as you pull back and down. Last one, lift up. And then bring those shoulders back and down. Good. From here, we take our head and we look over our shoulders. Just focus on the length of your spine. And if you encounter any pain in the neck and shoulder, then make sure that you work towards the pain, not into the pain. Breathe out and then in to come back. Turning the head. One more time. One last one over to the other side. Fantastic. You're now going to bring the chin to the chest and you're rolling it down. Soften your knees. Lean forward into your toes. Inhale at the bottom and exhale to come back up again. If you've got osteoporosis, come forward with a straight spine and then bring the arms up and then lengthen the fingertips back. Make sure you don't arch your back here. And then let's go again. Take the arms to your side, chin to chest. Lift your tail up, lean forward. Really allow your body to relax. The shoulders, the neck. The core, however, is engaged. And the bum cheeks are gently clenched. One more time, bring the arms up. And then allow that stretch in your front line. Third and last one. Chin to chest, roll it down. Lean forward even more. Make sure the knees are soft, but not really bent. Nice long legs, but soft knees. Back to the top one more time. Inhale. And exhale. Good job. Nice. And then widen your legs. Now be careful that you don't slip. So I'm on a wooden floor barefoot. I'm quite firm on the floor here, but maybe step onto the mat if you're feeling that you're slipping. Good, so your feet are wider than your shoulders. You're now going to draw the belly button in, tuck the tail in, and you're going to pull the tail backwards. So arms come forward, and then you gently pull the tail backwards. The knees go over the top of your toes, and then bring the arms down again. Go again. You take a deep breath in as you go down, and then breathe out as you come up. Good. The two muscles that are working the most here are your inner thighs and your bum cheeks. See if you can press your big toe down and all the other toes as well. So you're working through the toes and the outside line of your foot. Take it down and it should lift the arches of your feet up a little bit. Come back up. Good. So if you can go deeper down than me, then please do. And come back up again. Fantastic. Good. We're now going to turn our feet a little bit more straight. Good. And then we're going to shift our weight from one foot back to the center, over to the other foot. Good. And that weight goes onto your heels as you're doing this. So from one heel to the other heel. This is your level 1. If you can do a little bit more, what I would like you to do, I would like you to reach one hand on the right, one hand on the left towards the floor, and then the arms go up to the ceiling. Take it down, one hand is on the right, one hand is on the left, tail goes back and lift up. So my tail stays behind my shoulders here. If you look in the screen, you can see my bum is behind my shoulders. So some of your bottoms are beside you. I'll show you what I mean. So some of your bum go out to the side. I need that bum to stay behind you. So you're much more weight bearing into that foot. So keep the bum behind you as you go down. And come back up again. And as you warm up into this, to make it a little bit more challenging, you take it lower down to the point where the hands are touching the floor. But you have to make sure that you bend the knee. So you find that depth through a knee bend and not through you bending your spine. So the spine stays nice and long. Keep going. I can go lower on one side than the other side. You should do the same if you feel that one knee doesn't want to go all the way down. And there's lots of time, so you don't need to rush. We're going to do 3 more of these. Inhale down, back to the top. There's one more to go. And back to the top. Good. Stay here with your feet and start your rotation. Look over the shoulder and back to the front. Again, we're doing this really slowly, so there's absolutely no rush. If you're doing this live with me, you will know it's very humid and warm today. So we want to do everything nice and controlled, rather than rushing and getting lightheaded. Lift that breastbone up, tuck your tail in, clench your bum. Good, so you're rotating from the rib cage rather than from the shoulders. One more time on the other side. Back to the center, bring the arms up. Good. We're now going to just bring our whole body over one way. Feel the stretch. You can do this with one arm if you prefer. So a little bit easier is if you drop one arm down. A little bit harder is if you keep both arms up. The head stays in between your arms. The head stays in between your arms. Good. You're not going for depth, you're going for length. So really reach up to the ceiling and feel the stretch in your waist. We're going to do 2 more. We're going to do 1 more. And back to the center and bring the arms down. Good. Okay. Bring your feet parallel. Start your diagonal march. Diagonal march. Perfect. So level 1, doing it on the spot. Level 2, stand to the end of your mat. Make sure you've got no equipment in the way. And you're in a safe space and you're just marching forward. Really slowly coming off the foot. So this is not about speed. And then once you're at the end of that length, you march backwards. Good. If you're really good at this, you can lift your knee past your hip bone. But if you're finding that that's too much, then keep that foot much, much closer to the floor. Make sure that you're not holding your breath. Good. And what you don't want to do is that rushing. You want to keep it slow motion marches. Your feet are not in a line. Your feet are, so there is a width between your right ankle and your left ankle. So you've got space between your feet. It's not in one line, not this one. Good. Let's do it one more time, forwards or backwards, depending where you are with this. Last one. And relax. Good job. Okie. Let's go onto the floor. Come on down into a 4-point kneeling position and start with your cat-cow. As always, we are working on mobility and on stretches. What you don't want to feel is any increased pressure in the lower back, any pain in the lower back. The cat, this one here, is not usually a problem. It's the cow, the other way around. Think about lengthening your spine and not arching your spine. So you're really bringing that breastbone forward and you find length in your stomach muscles. So ideally, you find a stretch in your tummy. You can lift your chin up as well for a little bit of a throat stretch. There should be no pressure into the lower back. Speed is up to you. And as long as you're breathing, I'm happy. I tend to breathe out into the position and breathe in as I move to the other position. Again, I really leave that up to you as long as you're not holding your breath. And then come into a 4-point kneeling position and roll all 10 toes underneath your feet. Good, and then sit back into a toe stretch and find the toe stretch, particularly in your big toe and your second toe. You might need to move around a little bit, make sure the ankles are straight. Really push back with your weight. That's it, and then walk forward again. Lift your feet up. You're now just going to move your ankles round and round. As big as you can make it, flexing and pointing. And then go the other way, round and round, as big as you can make it. And then place those toes back underneath your body and grab your ball or your cushion and place it between your thighs. That's it. Take the ball, place it between your thighs. Good. Okay. So on the exhale, you're now going to lift your knees off the wall. On the inhale, you bring it back down again. I'm going to pick my green ball so you can see where my ball is a little bit better, contrast-wise. Good. So you exhale to lift your knees up. You inhale to bring the knees down. Good. That's your level 1, up and down with each breath. If you need a break, you lengthen your toes and you go into a child's pose. Make sure your core engages, your shoulders engage, and you're lifting the back of your head up. So make sure the back doesn't come down here. Level 2, you come up and you squeeze the ball, and then you release the ball and bring your knees back down again. So you come up, you squeeze the ball as you come up, and you bring it back down again. For a level 3, you stay lifted, and with each exhale, you squeeze the ball, and inhale, release the ball. Exhale, squeeze the ball. Inhale, release. Let's do this 3 more times. Exhale, squeeze the ball. Inhale, release. 2 more. Exhale, squeeze the ball. Inhale, relax. 1 more time. Exhale, squeeze the ball. Inhale, relax, and gently bring your feet onto the floor and lengthen your toes and sit back. I'm just going to keep that ball there. It doesn't bother me at all. Good, and shake out those shoulders. So what we're going to do next is to thread the needle. With the ball, you're going to use the ball if you want. If you haven't got a ball, just don't use anything. So don't worry about it. Just do a normal thread the needle. Same movement, no ball. If you do have a ball, take your hand and place the hand upside down on the ball. You're then going to move the arm out and you're going to keep pressure on that ball. Then you're going to look over the shoulder, see if you can touch the floor with your shoulder. And then keep pressure on the ball, pull it back, and raise the arm up to the ceiling. We're going to stay on this side. So if you haven't got a ball, you do the same thing. You slide the arm along the floor, you look over the shoulder, inhale, exhale, come back up and find the rotation. Let's do a couple more here. So we bring it up to 4, look over the shoulder, come out, and stretch it to the ceiling. Keep your core engaged. Make sure the upper back is in a good position. So you really want to try to find a long upper back. This is your last one. And bring it up. Good. Let's change sides. Find neutral and off you go. A little bit of pressure onto the ball as you slide it out. Look over your shoulder. Dear, oh dear, I'm tight on this side. And pull it back again. And all the way up to the ceiling. Good, let's do 3 more. I can see some of you have got the upper back in the wrong positions. I really need you to pause for a moment before you do your next repetition. So place both hands down again and then think about your spine for a moment, because a lot of you are in this position. So I need you to really try to find that perfect upper body before you take it back into the next one. So what you'll find, if you're in good posture and you rotate through good posture, it's much more effective. Let's do one more. In good posture, find that rotation over the shoulder. Inhale to pull it back and exhale to lift it up. Fantastic. Good. Let's go on to our backs. Let's go on to our backs. Start with your pelvic tilts. If you're doing this on record and you lie on your back here and you feel pressure in the neck, then grab a towel and place the towel underneath your head. Try not to use the blocks. The blocks are too big. So you wanna have as little equipment underneath the head as you possibly can. Good. So for a pelvic tilt, you're playing around with that lower end of your spine. So you want to pull the pelvic floor up, draw the belly button in, pull the 2 hip bones towards your ribs, and then inhale, reverse again. Go again, exhale to tilt. Inhale to reverse. Let's keep going, exhale to tilt. Inhale, reverse. Make sure the bum cheeks are relaxed as they can be. One more pelvic tilt. And come into neutral. Good. Take a deep breath in, engage your core and lift one leg up into tabletop. Good. So the knees directly over the top of your hip. You're now going to take your ball or your cushion and place it in front of your thigh. Okay. So currently your core is engaged. So the belly button is pulled in, the pelvic floor is lifted. You're now going to take your 2 hip bones and pull them towards you. So the lower back sits flat on the floor. On the exhale, I'd like you to press into the ball to challenge that ability to pull the 2 hip bones towards you. So breathe out as you push the ball into your thigh. Breathe in to relax. Breathe out to pull the 2 hip bones towards your rib cage. Lower back is flat on the floor. You're pressing into the thigh with your hand. Inhale, relax. Do it a couple more times and really feel how you're challenging that ability to pull the 2 hip bones towards you. Good. We're now going to do one more, but this time we're going to hold it for 5 breaths. So take a deep breath in. And on the exhale, pull the 2 hip bones towards you, and we're going to breathe 5 times, keeping the 2 hip bones pulled towards our rib cage. Two more deep breaths. Last one. And relax. Good. You're now going to place the ball onto the floor. Keep your leg in tabletop. Good. We're now going to do a similar exercise, but you won't have the ball. So you have to work a little bit harder to feel when to pull the 2 hip bones towards you. We're going to use the leg instead of the ball. So you're going to extend your leg as straight as you can. Good. Ideally, it's perfectly straight. Good. We're now going to drop the pointed foot down Good. Feel how you're pulling the two hip bones towards you. You're not allowing the lower back to arch. My heel is not on the floor. We're now going to exhale to pull a flexed foot back up. So you're going to inhale to pull the leg down and exhale to lift the leg up. Good. You might find a nice hamstring stretch as well. So what you want to feel is the same muscles here supporting the moving leg. So it's the ability to pull the two hip bones towards you, but this time with a movement. Inhale down, exhale to lift. So there shouldn't be any arching of your lower back. You're going to do one more and pull it up. Good. If you can, you're going to hold around your thigh now. I would like that leg directly over the top of your hip bone. You're now going to bend the knee. Don't pull the thigh towards you, keep it over your hip bone and lengthen your knee again. Good. Bend your knee and you want to try to aim for a perfectly straight knee over the top of your hip bone and really pull the heel up to the ceiling. So if you're fairly flexible and you don't feel a huge amount of stretch here, that's okay. You just want to find an activation through the back line of your leg. Breathe out. 2 more times. Breathe out. Find that length. Last one. And breathe out. Then bend the knee and place that leg on the floor. Let's repeat it on the other side. So lift one leg up into tabletop. Engage your core. So lift the pelvic floor up. Draw the belly button in. Pull the two hip bones towards you. Take the ball. Place it in front of your thigh. And on the exhale, you press against your thigh and you're focusing on pulling the two hip bones towards your ribs. So inhale, exhale. Inhale, relax. Exhale to challenge it. Inhale, relax. Exhale to pull the two hip bones towards your rib cage. Trying to keep that leg pretty much over the top of your hips. Twice more. Last one. Good. Relax one more time. Now I'm going to hold it for 5 breaths. Exhale, hold. Inhale. And breathe out again. Keep holding on to it. Feel how you're lifting the pelvic floor. Feel how you're pulling the tummy in. Feel the two hip bones pulling towards your ribs. One more breath. Keep the leg where it is. Place the ball on the floor. Extend your leg. Good. Drop the long leg down, just shy off the floor. And then exhale to lift the leg up. Good. Feel again how you are pulling the two hip bones towards your ribs. This time it's the moving leg that aggravates that ability. It's a little bit harder because you're moving here rather than being in a static position. And you're trying to really feel a lovely length in the back line of your leg. We're going to do one more. Hold it. Hold onto your thigh, right over the top of your hip. Good. Then you drop the heel towards the bum and then lift the leg up. The aim is a straight leg over the top of your hip bone. I know that some of you can pull that leg closer to your body, but that's not the aim here. It goes into the nerve flossing here. So it's a very gentle stretch. That movement, that pulling of the stretch into your heel, that movement, very gently. Up. Last one. Pull up. And place your feet on the floor. Fantastic. If you've got osteoporosis, I'd like you to give me a pelvic tilt. If you haven't got osteoporosis, then interlace your hands behind your head. Also, if you've got neck issues and you rather keep your head on the floor, pelvic tilt. But we're now going to lift the head and shoulders up. We're pulling our rib cage to our pubic bone, and then we bring it back down again. The weight of our head is sitting on our arms and shoulders, so you should feel like the arms and shoulders are doing a lot of the work here. So press the back of the head gently into your hands and find the length in your neck. And you come up really until you start to shiver and quiver, so it's quite far up here. Hold it and take it back down again. Breathe out. And breathe in. Good. So pelvic tilts if you don't want to lift the head up. And now, if you're in a pelvic tilt, we're going to hold the head up here, but if you're on a pelvic tilt, you're now going to imprint the lower back. Good, you're going to pull one leg up into tabletop. Make sure that your spine doesn't curve away from the floor, and then the second one. And then pull one knee to the chest as the other one stretches out, and then you swap. And you swap at about 45-degree angles, so halfway between horizontal and vertical. Good, holding on to the head like this is a level 1. Level 2 is you find the correct arm position. So outside arm is by your ankle, inside arm is by your knee. But you're not pulling that leg towards you, you're just touching it. Touch it. Give me a little bit more elegance there through the feet, please. Good. So if your head is on the floor, it looks like this. Make sure that you're not curving your lower back off the floor. You've got 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. We're now going to pull both of our knees to our chest and bring the head back down. Open up your legs wide. Good. And just give it a little bit of a rock. Just a bit of a rock here. Good. And then we're going to place our feet onto the floor wide. Bring the arms out to the side and start with your twist stretch with wide feet. So my feet are wider than the mat. With each one that you do, you might be able to come a little bit deeper into the position. And as always, if you feel that one side is much tighter than the other side, then do 2 on that side and only 1 on the other side. Good, so we're moving away from that very conscious core engagement and backline stretch. We're now going to move into bum cheek strength. Bum cheek and inner thigh. Before we move over to our side. Good, so bring that back to the center of those knees. Place your feet hip width apart. Take your cushion or ball and stick it between your thighs. Your feet are as wide as the item that you've got between your legs. So the feet should be in line with your knees, should be in line with your hips. That would be the ideal position. Good. Give me fists. And then when you look at your fist, you have the thumb on one side and the little finger on the other side. So it's the side of the little finger that presses into the floor. All the way into your shoulders. You're now going to tilt and peel your spine away from the mat, all the way into a high bridge. Really, really lengthen from the shoulders into the knee. Feel a stretch in the front of your hips. Inhale and exhale to bring it back down again, bone by bone. Don't let go of your arms. Don't let go of the shoulder engagement. Inhale again at the bottom and exhale to lift. Feel that stretch again in the front of your thigh, from the shoulders into your knees. And then bring it back down again. All the way to the top. Hold it right at the top. Really engage those arms. On the exhale, you're going to clench the inner thigh. So clench your item together. On the inhale, you relax. Go again. Clench your bum. Clench the inner thigh on the exhale. And then open up again. Good. So you're clenching the inner thigh. And then you relax the inner thigh. The bum cheek doesn't have the ability or doesn't have the luxury to relax. So the bum cheeks needs to stay engaged at all times. It's just the inner thigh that you squeeze and relax. Also the core, don't relax the core. It really only is the inner thighs. Two more times. One more time. Inhale and exhale to roll it back down again, bone by bone, as controlled as you possibly can. All the way into a neutral. Fantastic. Let's go again. Inhale. Exhale, tilt and lift. Good. You're now going to gently squeeze the ball and find your bum, find the back of your shoulders, find the length in your arms. Good. Really find the core engaged. You're going to lift both heels up on the exhale. On the inhale, bring the heels down. Now listen, on the exhale, you lift your toes up. On the inhale, you bring it down. So it's not just a toe. You're rocking from standing on the toe, and then you rock off your foot, so you're standing on your heel. And then rock off the heels to stand on your toes. And then rock off your feet, so you're standing on your heels. Two more times. Rock forward, lift the heels up, stand on your toes. And then rock backwards onto your heels, stand on your heels. Good. One more time. Rock forward onto the toes, lift your heels, keep the hips high. Rock backwards onto your heels, lift the rest of your foot up. Good. Now hold the feet lifted, heels down. Take a deep breath in. And on the exhale, roll it back down again. Bone by bone. You're still on your heels. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, tilt one more time and come back to the top on your heels. Good. So your feet are flexed. Fantastic. We're now going to extend one leg at a time. You can either hold it or extend with me. So you breathe out to extend. You breathe in to bring it down. Make sure that your hips don't rock, they don't move. Keep them nice and still. And really you want to find breath, and you want to find the movement being as long as your breath. So you hold it as long as you have exhale and drag the exhale out. So we want to hold it here for a moment. We don't want to rush. Two more times. One last one. Bring your heels down. Inhale and exhale to roll it down bone by bone. Good job. All right, we're now going to lose our ball to the side. We're going to super glue our thighs together and we're going to go from side to side. So we're finding that twist stretch. Good. And we are going to move position. And we're going to come up into seated. So come on up into seated. Now that twist stretch that you've just done is your level 1. So if this next exercise is not for you, it's quite an advanced exercise, then go back into that twist stretch, okay? So make sure that you listen to that. So we are going to lean back. I think I'll start this way. So we're going to lean back. My hands are not on the mat, they're beside the mat. Good. And then you're going to rock back. So the tailbone is tucked between the legs. You're now going to lift one leg up into tabletop and then the second leg. Good. So level 1 is you lying on the floor and giving me a twist stretch. Level 2 is here. You're going to bring the knees to one side and then over to the other side. It looks like this from in front. So the knees go to one side and then the knees go over to the other side. But you really have to make sure that you're deeply engaged through that core. So now we've got level 1 and we've got level 2. For a level 3, we're going to bring the hips to the side. Really feel how you're pulling the top hip bone towards your rib cage. Then you're going to extend the leg forward and then you're going to pull the other hip bone towards your rib cage. I'll show you from the side. So you extend forward, your hips are facing forward. Now you twist and you pull the hip bone towards you. You extend forward and you pull the hip bone towards you. Good. So if this is too much, on the floor you go and you give me a twist stretch. Forward and pull the hip bone towards my rib cage. One more time. Forward and pull the hip bone towards me and relax. Good job. So this is obliques, these babies here, these little muscles on the side. Fabulous. We're going to lie on our chest. Lie on the chest, so roll over. And place your hands into surrender. So there's nothing new here. So the elbows are just underneath the shoulders. Draw the belly away from the floor. Tuck your tail between your legs. Lift your pelvic floor. And most importantly, clench your bum cheeks. Then find length from the belly button into your feet and from the belly button into the crown of your head. And then take another deep breath in and lift the back of your head up as far up as you would like to come. You do not have to lift the elbows up. You can keep the elbows on the floor for more support. You lift through the back of your head first, then stretch forwards through that breastbone and bring it back down again. So the aim here is a stretch in your stomach muscles, finding the front line opening up. Shoulders are back and down. Last one. Good. Now keep engaged. So keep the belly button pulled in, keep your bum clenched. We're now going to extend both of our legs and we are finding length in our legs, not height. So our kneecaps are just about lifted off the floor. If you need to make this easier, you can do a single leg extension, but if you can, keep it a double. We're now going to move on. So this is level 1, add a single or double leg extension. Level 2, we're now going to sink the nose towards the mat. And on the exhale, we're extending both our upper back and our legs, but with very little height. So you're doing this very shallow. So you're thinking about lengthening your body away from the belly button. So the crown of the head moves away from the body, from the belly button, one direction. And your feet pull away from the belly button in the other direction. So you're pulling the legs away from the center and you're pulling the crown of the head away from the center. This is your level 2. Level 3, you're going to do exactly the same thing, but you're lifting your arms and your forearms off. You're lifting your hands off and bring it back down again. Again, with very little height. Very little height indeed. But the kneecaps are lifted and the nose is slowly moving away from the floor. For the hardest level for this one, I'd like you to come up and clench your shoulder blades twice. Hold it, clench the shoulder blades once. And another breath, twice. And bring your whole body back down again. Make sure you work the correct level. You don't want to pick up any tension in your lower back. So coming up, clench the shoulder blades once, twice, and bring it back down again. Have breaks if you need to. We're going to do this twice more. Extend, clench the shoulder blades once, clench the shoulder blades twice. The legs don't move up and down. They just lift and then you hold them for the shoulder clench. One more time. Extend, shoulder blades clench once, and then a second time. And relax. Fantastic. Give your bum a wiggle. Good job. Fabulous. Okay, let me see what the time is. Okay, we've got time for a quadricep stretch. So come on onto your side and then grab hold of your ankle and pull your knee towards the end of your mat. Tuck your tail in and now you can get a bonus stretch if you pull the shoulder back as well. You try to lift your waist away from the floor. So have a look. Instead of being a banana here through the upper body, we're lifting the waist away and we're pulling our shoulders down our back, and we're really lengthening through that knee. So we find the whole front side here opening up. Two more breaths. Good, and then gently let go. And let's go over to the other side. Elbow is underneath your shoulder. You're going to grab your ankle. Lift your waist away from the floor. You could always use a band to wrap around your ankle if you can't bend that knee as far as you would like to. Make sure the shoulder is in the right place. Make sure the waist is lifted. And you keep that tail tucked in. Really lengthen that knee a little bit more down the end of the mat. Good. Let's open up our hips. So sit nice and tall. Good. And then you're going to take both of your feet and you're going to place them together in front of you. Now you've got the block, haven't you? So if you feel that your hips are very tight, then you're better off sitting a little bit higher up. So you can always sit on top of that block, and that will make it a tiny bit easier. Good. So we're going to start by, if you can, hold on to your ankles. Good. Sit as tall as you can, as tall as you possibly can. And then from this position, on the exhale, we are just opening up our knees a little bit more. On the inhale, you relax. On the exhale, you open up your knees. On the inhale, you bring the knees back again. So if you're doing this with really arthritic hips, then you can lie flat on the floor and just open and close from that position. So that will be a lot easier than doing this seated. So just lie on the back and open and close your knees as far as your hips will allow you to. Good. And one more time. Good. And then pull your knees together. Come off the block if you're on the block. And then lengthen one leg and cross the other foot over the top of your thigh. And then pull this knee as close to your torso as you can. Good. So I've crossed over my right leg here. So now I'm going to find my opposite arm, in my case, the left arm. And I'm hugging that right leg with my left elbow. Good. And then pull the knee towards you. Try to sit as tall as you can. That will give you the best stretch. And then just rotate gently to the back. You should feel a stretch in your bum cheek. Let's do the other side. Cross that leg. And you're going to find that one side is much tighter than the other side. Pull that across. Opposite arm to knee. That's it. Sit as tall as you can. And give that upper body a nice twist. Good. And then relax. We're all finished for today. Well done, everybody. Thank you for joining me, the ones that are doing this recorded. I'm going to turn the recording off and just say goodbye to the people that are here in real life.